Hello, and welcome to the very first episode of Tech Talks at WSU Tech, where we dive into all things WSU Tech and highlight the voices within our college community. I'm your host, Dr. Sheree Utash, president of WSU Tech, and I'm joined by my co-host, Mandy Fouse, executive director of public affairs and executive communications. Today, we're excited to introduce this new platform and share what you can expect from future episodes.
Yes, Sheree, thank you so much. I am super excited to be joining you today and launching this new platform. Are you ready to dive in?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's get started.
Do it.
So in the upcoming episodes, we will be talking with several of our colleagues and people doing incredible things in our college community. So I thought before we put them on the hot seat, that maybe we put you on the hot seat.
Okay.
Are you
Let's
ready?
do it.
Are you ready, Sheree? Okay.
Always.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about Tech Talk and about the podcast. So, Sheree, what inspired you to want to launch Tech Talks at WSU Tech, and what are you hoping to achieve with this platform?
So the reason I really wanted to do this is I want to highlight all of the great things that are happening. And I want to hear from the voices of those people in a way that celebrates their successes, lets the college community know about the accomplishments that are going on, and highlights all the good work that we're doing across the college. So you or I will host them, and they'll get to talk about all the great things they're doing. Therefore, everybody at the college will know that.
Yes. And so why do you think that that is so important, that we are allowing for the people who are doing the work, who are in the trenches every day to come and bring their stories forward?
You know, we talk about we're building a workforce for the future with our students and for this community. Our workforce is the gym that creates that workforce. So we need to understand all that they're doing. We need to understand the work they're doing. We need to celebrate their successes and, accentuate their accomplishments. And I think this is a way to do that.
I definitely agree. And the excitement that we've seen so far, just from even asking people to participate on the podcast, has been just so much of it. And we're just really excited. So we talked about bringing up their voices, but what are you hoping that people will gain who are listening, who are tuning in? What do you hope that they will?
So I hope those that listen, and I hope everybody listens, but I do hope that when you're listening to this, that you understand some of the things that are happening that we never have time to share. The stories.
Yeah.
We talk about our student stories. Let's talk about our employee stories. Let's talk about the incredible work they're doing. Let's celebrate one another, and then once somebody's been on a podcast and you see them in the hallway, tell them, hey, you're doing a great job. I loved what you talked about. I love what you're doing, because you've got so many people contributing to the mission in very, very different ways. So I think this is a way to hopefully communicate that. I'm a big believer on internal communications, and part of that is really understanding what people are doing and the great work they're doing and the good things that they're doing for our students, for our community, and for our college to move it forward. I think that is what I really want for people to come from this. And then if they have ideas for podcasts, I want to hear those.
Yes, we definitely want people to give their feedback. I think, when we're in meetings or when we just talk to people in the hall and you ask them what's going on, there's things, we know what's going on, but it's like once you get really down into what they're doing, it's like, oh, I had no idea. And so I'm looking forward so much to those light bulb moments for everyone, those aha moments. So Sheree, are there any initiatives or projects or things that are coming up that you're really excited to talk about?
Oh my gosh, I have so many. Where should I start? I have a lot of them. So certainly the Biomed is a huge, huge initiative that we're very excited about, and what it's going to do to this city, how it's going to transform downtown Wichita. We will truly not recognize all the benefits of this for many years. Building that building is one thing, but all the things that are going to happen because of that building, transformational.
Right.
Certainly the expansion at NCAT, I'm very excited about. We're in the early design phases of that. I'm going to launch a capital campaign very soon.
Woo.
Be the first capital campaign of WSU Tech.
Yes.
Very excited about that. The Future Ready expansion for IT, the hack at South. Very excited about that. And we have a new strategic plan that's going to guide us for the next 3 years of what we're going to do that just really continues to focus on people and culture, continuous quality improvements in the work that we do, student success, academic innovation, and then financial stability. I mean, what else could you ask for?
There's so many incredible things. There's never we're never in a deficit of exciting or innovative things happening. And I know a lot of those will be brought up here at the Tech Talk table. How many more T's can we add to this? So
talking at the Tech Talk table.
Talking at the Tech Talk table today.
Yeah.
Awesome. So outside of just the WSU Tech community, what do you hope that our Wichita community or that, the people who are greatest cheerleaders can gain from tuning into our podcast?
So that they can again be reassured that all of us are rowing in this boat to the same mission, to the same thing, to create opportunities for people in our community through education and training, for great careers and economic prosperity for their families. And I think it'll be really great for people in the community to hear from different perspectives. People hear from me all the time.
Right.
You know what? I always say, I'm just the one that gets to stand up and talk about all the wonderful things people are doing. This is a way for people to tell us and this great community and our college what they're doing.
Yeah, definitely a vehicle to move people forward and lift them up, which is really the mission of why we are here and why we are doing this. So I want to have a little fun because so something that people can expect going forward from these podcasts is getting to know what people do for the college and how they serve people in the college. And so everyone knows, like you said, everyone knows that you're the president of WSU Tech, but I would like to spend just a little bit of time of diving into that. Like, what does that mean? Like, as what do you do, Sheree? Like, what is your role as president of WSU Tech?
Well, I go to a lot of meetings.
Yes.
I do a lot of meetings.
We've seen your calendar.
I do a lot of meetings. I think if I was just to boil it down, I would say that my job is kind of this in a very high umbrella. Number one is to set a vision and share that vision with the college community. Number two is to remove barriers so that we can be successful, whatever those barriers may be. Number three is to be a friend, raiser, and supporter of the institution. And number four is to work really at a very diligent level with community, with business and industry, across the city. Yeah. So much of my job is external, but there's an internal piece of this, and my internal piece is, helping set vision, share vision, and create the goals and the outcomes, the expectations, and the accountability, and help people remove the barriers.
Right, and getting the right people in the right places to move those forward.
Right people in the bus in the right seats doing the right thing. It's the old Jim Collins thing.
Yeah.
When you do the right things are going to happen.
Exactly.
So that's kind of my role. Very community, but also there's the internal and the external, and it's a really big mix of that.
So let's talk a little bit about the external. You're super deeply committed, as we've heard today, to fostering communication and collaboration within WSU Tech. You've been very busy these last couple of months and just returned from London and from the Farnborough International Airshow. So let's talk a little bit, can you share the significance of attending these types of events and what really drives you to participating in these gatherings? And then how does it relate back to the work that we do at WSU Tech?
Sure. It's a great question. So when you go to events like this, first of all, when Senator Moran asks you to be somewhere, you say, yes, sir, 3 bags full. You just do. And he asked me to start attending this. But here's the reason why. What the opportunity is at these international air shows is to talk to companies from all over the globe about the possibility of them doing business in Wichita.
Wow.
Is it business with our supply chains, of which we provide a workforce? Is it moving a manufacturing production facility of their companies to Wichita or to the state of Kansas? Those are the conversations that you have. Mm-hmm. That's the reason that you go. And every single person, this is not surprising to anybody, wants to talk about workforce. And how are you going to be able to deliver me the workforce that I need if I come to Wichita? Or if I work with your supply chain, of which you currently deliver the workforce, how are you going to upskill, reskill them, and keep them current to deliver what I need? That's what's so important about it. But you blend together. I mean, I'm telling you, every Kansan should be so proud of what happens at these international air shows. Wichita, known as the air capital of the world, and we want to keep that moniker. We never want to lose that. I mean, it's historic. It's our history. It's what we currently are, and it's our future. And we want to make sure that we build into that, and that's part of this. But Kansans should be so proud because Wichita, South Central Kansas, and the state of Kansas at these international air shows, they're the king. They're the king. They're the king of the whole event.
Right. People
want to come talk to people from Wichita, South Central Kansas, and the state of Kansas about their businesses. So at this recent air show, we had, I'm trying to remember, we had over, I personally was probably in 10 or 12 meetings. But
in 2 days.
In 2 days. And there were over, and they're long days. So you get up, you're going to the subway at 5:15 in the morning and you're getting back about 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. So they're long days, but they're really good days and they're really productive conversations. And the one stat that I remember is that of all the companies that we talked to, and of course that's the state of Kansas, the governor, Senator Moran, Greater Wichita Partnership, Wichita State University, NIAR, and many supply chain partners are all a part of this ecosystem that goes to these international air shows, in addition to us from WSU Tech. So here, if you think about this, the companies that we talk to have an equity of over $3.1 billion globally.
Billion.
That's B as in billion. So think about that. And then think about all the residual, like we have a meeting Friday with a company that we met a year ago at the Paris Air Show that is coming in and continuing to look at Wichita as a possibility. I have 4 meetings from what I had in London to do customized training for different companies in their onboarding. So, you think about it, it's all about, number one, it's all about how do we as a college, and when I talk about workforce development, I'm talking about aviation and manufacturing, of course, but you know what? Every company has to have HR people and accountants and marketing people and support people and IT people. And so it's not just aviation and manufacturing. It's the whole gamut of that. So I don't want anybody to think they're being left out because it takes all of us to do these things. So it takes every part of our institution academically to make this happen. But when we think about the opportunities that lie before us because of this, it's not only opportunity for the college, but it's economic development for this community, for this city, for the state. And that does nothing but make us better. So our biggest challenge, frankly, in all of this, how do you get enough people to grow that population in order to meet the demands of these various companies? You and I were there when a new company from the UK said, I'm signing up and coming to Wichita.
Yeah, I think I remember the words.
We watched it.
Yes, he said, Wichita is the place to be.
That's right.
Wichita is where to make it happen. And just the incredible moment of seeing someone get that, someone else get that. Like, we get
from
that.
From the UK.
From across the pond.
Yeah.
Being able to see that Wichita is the place to go to get a workforce, to make a mark in aviation, and to really change lives and to grow their company exponentially. Yeah. It's really cool to see that. And you're right.
And it's an auxiliary company of aviation. So they're a digital media company of sorts. And we've met with them several times over the last couple of years. And they come in at the air show because they're from the UK, right? So that's their neighborhood. Yeah. They come to Farnborough, they walk in and they say, hey, we're signing the deal right now. We're coming to Wichita. Think about that. That was so cool. It was such a great moment. Such a great moment. But it's those. And so you think about, that's why we go. That's why we do the work we do. A lot of my job is friend raising and fundraising.
Exactly.
Whether it's, federal, state, local, philanthropic through the foundation. And it's all a part. It's a bigger part. It is a true honor. It is a really privilege and honor for WSU Tech to be able to be at that table.
Yes. Well, and I think those conversations don't just happen over in London. Like you were saying,
Mm-hmm.
they're happening every day. They're happening from, local employers that are looking to expand. They're happening, people within the U.S. that are looking to come here.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a really important thing that I don't know if a lot of people understand how much of a role that WSU Tech and that you play in trying to get new business into Wichita, into South Central Kansas. And like you said, keeping our moniker of the air capital of the world. That is so very important.
So I would say, I don't think people really realize that at all, but I meet with every potential company that wants to come into Wichita, no matter what their industry is. No matter what their industry is. I just got an email this morning. A week from Friday, I'm meeting with a huge IT company. So every single company that's considering Wichita, whether it's healthcare, IT, aviation, manufacturing, automotive, any kind of company that's thinking about Wichita or thinking about expanding in Wichita, their current location, usually we are so fortunate that we have a seat at the table to have that conversation and be part of those decisions.
Well, and we're so fortunate we have such a great economic development group in the Greater Wichita Partnership that just makes sure that we're part of that table too.
Yeah,
So.
And that is Greater Wichita Partnership. They have done incredible work in the last 10 years. Amazing work for this city and for this community. And they always bring education to the table. And that's WSU, that's NIAR, that's us. That is, it's incredibly important. And it's that three-legged stool I talk about all the time. It's the government, it's the education, it's the industry, all sitting together, trying to figure out how best to serve and how best to deliver the needs of the industries that we have currently and those that will grow our economy and grow the city of Wichita. The future is super bright. It's super bright.
Super bright. Well, thank you so much, Sheree, for sharing all of that. I look forward to hearing back on everyone's response now that they know a little bit more about what you do. And now we're going to launch into what everyone else is doing in the college.
That's
and
right.
So I think we've successfully recorded our first episode of Tech Talks at WSU Tech. I hope so, right? Let's do this.
Let's do this.
And for
I like
everyone who has tuned in, thank you so much. We look forward to lifting up more voices and bringing more stories to you. And I think that's all that we have time for today. So tune in next time for Tech Talks at WSU Tech. Thanks.
Thank you.